Thanks again for checking out the Coding Fanatic YouTube channel. Head on over to codingfanatic.com and join our mailing list for weekly updates on Android tutorials, career advice, and more. So once again, head on over to codingfanatic.com and thanks for your support. Welcome back. In my last video, I talked about some issues I ran into when I attempted to assign objects, regular objects, to variables that were meant to reference specific objects versus the superclass of objects, and how that didn't work out so well. So I figured, why don't I take a step back and set this feature up from the beginning. So the idea is that when users enter text or enter a zip code, that the app displays the addresses, the corresponding zip codes, right? So I said, okay, well, why don't we set up those boundaries for what we want this edit text field, what we want to happen when we press this enter button on the edit text. So let me show you. So here we have our application. And as you can see, well, actually it hasn't even started running yet. All right, well, we have our application, which is about to start running. Now, what I did before was I said that I would assign every object in the array adapter to a new variable and then invoke methods on that new like sort of dummy object in order to update the list. But I was getting ahead of myself. You see, the list can only be in 3 states based on the edit text field. Either the edit text is empty, it contains a matching zip code, or it does not contain a matching zip code. So what I did was I added functionality so that when the edit text is empty, it displays the entire list. And when you type any text whatsoever and you click the enter button, it'll say no results found. So here, if you look at the code, what I did was I assigned the input, the actual string that's entered by the user, to a string variable named input. And in the editor, the actual code that defines what happens when you press enter, I said that if the length of that string is greater than 0, meaning the user has entered something, that it would it would set the adapter to the no results adapter. Now what that is a special array adapter I created, which contains one string and it says no results found. And the idea is that if the user tries to enter an erroneous text, erroneous string, like say they try to type in, they mistype their zip code, or they type anything else other than a matching zip code, one of the addresses, then it will say no results found. And similarly, if we clear this field, so we come back in here, we delete everything. Once you click enter, it updates back to the original list. So in summary, there are 3 states that this list can be in. Either 1, where the user hasn't entered any text; 2, where the user entered the wrong text; and 3, where the user enters a matching zip code. But by first defining the actions that occur when they enter, or when it's empty, and when there's the wrong text is in there, now I can focus my attention on the next piece of logic, which will be finding the addresses with the zip codes corresponding with that of the user's input. So I feel like this is a good way to go. If I start by setting up the boundaries, then I can focus on the intended functionality later. But first I have to cover any other cases outside of what I really want it to do. Before, I was doing the opposite and trying to get it to work how I want it to, without thinking of, well, what happens when the user does this, or they enter a bunch of foolishness or something like that. So it's coming along well, and I feel that it's we're pretty close to the end of the road here. So we will see what happens in the next one. So once again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. and turn on notifications so you can see when I upload new videos. And if you head over to the Coding Fanatic website, codingfanatic.com, you join the mailing list, and you'll be updated whenever I post new tutorials, project updates, career advice, and more. So, once again, thank you all so much for tuning in. This is your host, Richard Clark, signing out, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace.